Democratic presidential candidate Marianne Williamson appeared on The Breakfast Club just a few days ago. So we have a clip that we would like to show from that appearance. And we have talked about Marianne Williamson and her campaign several times on this show. And we have talked about how she has advocated for reparations. So in this clip, she does a little bit more speaking about that.
Well, I think that we could have a reparations council or board of trustees, as it were, and the money could be paid out in, let's say, 20 years, 30 years, and it would be paid for projects of economic and educational renewal.
And strictly to the African descendants of
Yes, yes, of course.
Why do you want to do that for black people?
Well, I don't, it's interesting you say that for black people. I think it's for America. I think that if you look at the historical arc of race relations between whites and blacks in America, I think, I don't believe that the average American is racist. I don't. But I do think the average American is vastly undereducated or underinformed about the history of race in America.
Are we talking about giving individuals checks, or are we talking about restitution and doing things in communities that will benefit people?
I think that should be for black America to decide. If I owe you money, I don't get to tell you how to spend it.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
I think that once this, I think the really big deal is the selection of this reparations council. And there are some very profound scholars, people like Professor Darity, Ta-Nehisi Coates. There are many people who have done years of work on this. And the issue would be the very important task of choosing the council, the very important task of negotiating the amount, and the stipulation in my mind would be for economic and educational renewal. And then obviously if the United States is going to hand over that kind of money, I'm not saying they should have no input, but it's not for white America to decide those particular issues.
Why do you think presidential candidates are hesitant to speak about black issues and in a specifically black agenda?
That's not for me to, that's for you to ask them. I feel at this point in my career what I felt for 35 years, which is I'm not saying anything everybody I know isn't saying. I'm just saying it when the microphone is on. And I do think with a lot of the things I talk about, I'm not saying anything those other candidates don't know, but they won't name it. And people might want to ask themselves why that is.
Do you have a specific agenda for black people outside of the reparations thing?
Well, I think that, as we know, many of the issues of black America have to do with economic issues. And I think that in all of the areas where we need to address, whether it has to do with racial disparity in our criminal justice system, everything from legalizing marijuana to looking at all of the disparities there. Mass incarceration is a huge issue. Our prisons should not be privatized. When I was in college, there were 300,000 people in prison in this country. Now it's over 2 million. Obviously, there's a racial issue there. So anything that has to do with justice, once again, for me, it's about healing America. And anytime, Martin Luther King's comment, right, was anytime there's a threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
I feel like you're one of these white people who do more listening than you do talking. Like you listen to the struggles of other communities, which I think a lot of people don't do enough.
I'm Jewish, and I was brought up to believe that even if they're not doing it to us now, they could at any time. So always be on the side of whoever they're doing it to.
Absolutely.
Okay, I need to complete this order. I need to complete this order right quick, and then we're gonna get to the segment.
Oh, you placing the order right now?
Yeah, I'm placing the order for Marianne Williamson.
Oh, okay.
This it's a lifetime cookout card. Wait a second. Submit. I just bought her a lifetime cookout card on me.
Yeah.
Yo, I tell you what. I'll say it and I'll say it again. I'll ask this question. Who is this chick?
I don't know.
Obviously, we know who she is, but I'm just saying it in jest.
Who is this chick?
Yeah, you're just saying that in jest. Because it seems as if it goes beyond her answers. Like, of course she has the right answers, but if you look at her mindset, there is a few times where she redirected the interview because Charlemagne, in all his glory, he likes to direct the interview in certain ways. And sometimes people can get caught up in that when they're not centered on themselves. But she essentially she essentially redirected like the conversation like away from where Charlemagne was trying to go with it. What do you think about the question about like reparations being for Black people and how she dealt with that?
Almost speechless though, because I wasn't expecting. Again, I've heard Marianne Williamson speak many times before now, and I always do come away impressed. But how she answered it, like you say, by redirecting the question, saying that why do you want to do this for Black people? You know, because it's like a look, a white lady. Why do you have these progressive positions? Why do you want to advocate for Black people? Why do you want to do this for Black people?
It almost like the question is kind of designed around the notion of white saviorism.
Yes.
And she just was like...
And she went right past that and said, no. I don't want to do this for Black people. No. This is for America. This is for Americans. Like, we need to redress what happened. I don't hear anybody speak like this. I definitely don't hear presidential candidates speak like this. And then the question about how is this money going to be spent? Again, she threw me. It's not up to me to decide how that money is spent. Of course, the parameters should be about, she said, educational and economic renewal. But if I owe you money, I don't get to tell you how to spend it.
And so it's like right there, she's like, look, I'm going to stay in my lane. She didn't take the bait.
No.
I'm not saying like Charlemagne was trying to bait her, but like Charlemagne's, I guess his interviewing style was doing that. Yeah. I don't think it was like purposeful. I just think that he's just
being direct.
He was just being direct.
Yeah.
Those are basic interview questions. I don't think there was anything malicious about it because like he was asking in a fashion that's typical in a kind of interview that surrounds politics. But one thing that he did notice about her, and he pointed it out, is that she seems to be really good at listening. But that has to do with her background.
Yeah.
So she's different from other politicians because of her background. She writes self-help books. And so she tries to kind of, help people dig themselves out of psychologically depressive holes. Like she tries to get people to, value themselves and be more emotionally intelligent in how they deal with themselves and engage with the world. So she's all about self-help.
Yeah.
Like her engagement with politics kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like a relationship, a very good relationship that you were in, but you were friends first. You see what I'm saying? So you were friends first, so that makes the relationship stronger. I think like her background and how she engages with people and how she sees the world, it made like her politics stronger. It makes how she deals with politics work better and sound more genuine because she did that part first. So she's like that friend first.
I think we're accustomed to having political leaders that are narcissists. And that's not what she's bringing to the table. She brings qualities that cause you to believe that she has the capability to be empathetic. That she can try to listen to others, understand their problems, and try to work together to arrive at solutions. So again, I don't think that, I know we have politicians like that. I believe Bernie Sanders is somebody like that. Hearing Andrew Yang talk, who we're going to talk about in a few minutes, hearing him speak, I get that feeling from him. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, there are multiple figures out there that you get a sense that they actually do care about people. They're not interested in selling out the corporate interests. They're actually there to do the job for the American people, their constituents. So that's the feeling I get from her. And like you said, you noted her background being in the self-help arena. She noted that she comes from a Jewish background, so she knows that, look, whatever's being done to other people, these people that are being discriminated against and being disenfranchised, we know that that same very thing can happen to us.
You see how she avoided getting into this little mudslinging battle? What do you say to the people that think this or say that? And she was like, you ask them why they think that. I'm not gonna get into speculation about why these people think and say this. Like she doesn't get involved in that kind of that typical political mudslinging and demagoguery. I would say it like loose demagoguery of always trying to demonize someone's points that essentially it's kind of a vague toss-up.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about these people who think this? I'm like, well,
But she doesn't make herself out to be something special either, though. She
right,
says
right.
that I don't know anything that these other politicians know. I mean, like, we all know the same things, but there's a reason why I'm saying it and they're not. So you need to ask them why they're not. Put the onus on them.
Why are
not
they
me.
not saying it? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Look, Marianne Williamson, I want to see her on the debate stage, and that's coming in June.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, man. I think I said this before. Ooh, it would be a weird flex for anybody to try to attack her.
Yeah.
It would be a weird flex. If it's a flex, you would have to bend yourself into a pretzel.
It would
Like,
be.
you would have to.
Yeah. How are you going to try to go around her mentality? Like, how are you going to try to? It's going to be a hell of a task for you to criticize anything that she's actually talking about. So I definitely want to see her on the stage. She again the requirements, you have to have 65,000 individual donors. She's not there yet. She says she's on her way. So definitely, if you want to contribute to her campaign, it's Marianne2020.com. Go there. You can leave $1. It counts. All right. So it doesn't have to be a certain amount of money. It can be $1, and it will count as one individual donor.